What's up guys, welcome back to the Stay Hooked YouTube channel. Today we are going to be exploring a remote barrier island. This is one of 34 barrier islands in South Carolina, and it's a beautiful place to be. You see some absolutely incredible sights, and I'm excited to take you guys along with me. We'll be doing some fishing and just generally exploring, looking for wildlife and whatever else decides to show itself. So stay tuned, and I hope you guys enjoy it. So I have probably about an hour and a half paddle ahead of me, and I also just realized I forgot the GoPro mount that usually goes right here where you can get the 2 points of view. So we're just gonna be rocking the head mount today, which is totally fine. We'll be chilling. But like I said, about an hour paddle ahead of me. It's gonna take some time. It's such a calm day though, so I'm really feeling like we might see some fish activity on the way out. Take a look around us right now. This is the sound, and right now it pretty much looks like a lake. So we have roughly a 5 to 6 foot water level difference on average between a low and a high tide. And it's around a high tide right now. But if we were here on a low, you would see hundreds, and I'm talking hundreds, maybe even thousands of oyster beds just out here in the middle of this sound. And you can see really quick how you can get in trouble if you're in a boat, because all it takes is maybe 2 inches of water to cover those oyster beds, and then they're completely invisible. So if I were to be in a boat and I just shot out directly that way, I would hit an oyster bed in no time, which is crazy to think about. Here we go. No way, flounder. Haha. That was the first cast up in there. So we're just at this little creek mouth right now that I actually normally come here to catch trout in, and that was a really cool surprise. Dang, he wanted that thing, holy cow. I'm just bouncing this shrimp off the bottom very slowly with this cold water. The water's probably, I don't know, maybe 55 degrees. If that, might even be colder. But there's our first catch right there, a flounder. Figured I'd stop here and fish for 10 minutes or so before heading up to the island, and it paid off. We finally made it. This is the island we'll be exploring today. And originally I was gonna run up this little creek that goes behind the island and try to get to this big saltwater pond, but I'm sick of sitting. So we're gonna pull up to this dock over here and just go by foot and explore. Maybe do a little fishing, see if there's any bald eagles around. I mean, there's lots of cool stuff to see right now, so I'm sure we'll find something. We'll start off by fishing the dock, of course. You can't just pass up this delectable looking structure without giving it a couple casts. Come on. Oh, that's not what we're trying to do. What the hell? There we go. Money, just where I wanted it. Tide's starting to go out now, so I think it's best that we did this instead of trying to go up some tiny little creek and then get stuck and have to walk all the way out through the cold mud. Get tied up here. There we go. Okay, we have made it. Take a look at all of this rack that got pushed up during the super high tides about a month ago. That is wild. That is crazy. This will be my first time coming out here and seeing the beach and the island after the insanely high tides, so I wonder if some weird stuff got washed up. But I'm gonna be the only person out here today, it looks like. That's what happens when you come out on the gloomy cold days. You usually get rewarded with having a beautiful place to yourself, hoping something cool will show itself to us. There's the kingfisher. Kingfishers are always on the move, so they're pretty tough to get a video of. But I'm yet to get a good one of them, so. Yeah, he is just hauling, look at him. We'll need to find one that's either actively eating a fish or is just perched, taking a break. The diversity of plant life is super cool out here on these barrier islands, and it's a small area, so as I'm getting attacked by a freaking plant right now, but it's a very small area, and you can see the forest succession pretty much happening in the smaller area, from the palmettos and the pine trees, and then the old woods, those hardwoods, the oaks, all that stuff as well. I mean, you have it all happening right here. Well, I messed up, that's for sure. I forgot to bring my freaking battery for my big camera, so I can't get any shots at all of this wildlife for y'all. So we'll probably make this island exploration a little more brief, because I mean, that's why I came out here, was to get cool wildlife shots. So that's so disappointing. I don't know how I did that, and I also, you're not allowed to fly the drone here, so I can't get any other really cool perspective shots. But we're gonna kind of walk around and maybe make it to the beach, but we'll make it a lot quicker and probably get back into the kayak and do some more fishing, because that'll probably be a whole lot more interesting for y'all. But whatever, can't change it, nothing I can do about it at this point. So we'll still enjoy it, and that just means I got to come back out with the camera battery and do this again sometime and find some cool stuff. But I just saw 2 large alligators right here, which is very surprising. It's super cold today, so you know, seeing them out was definitely something I was not expecting. So I really should know this, but I want to say this is called like some sort of like Hercules club tree, I want to say, and they might grow in more calcium rich environments like these barrier islands that tend to have a lot of oysters and other shells that are mixed in. And oftentimes that's actually from Native Americans leaving these big junk piles of shells from all the oysters that they used to eat, and that results in more calcium in the soil. So you get plants with that need more calcium and do well with more calcium that grow there. And this thing's just really cool. I mean, take a look at that bark and all these incredibly little sharp little notches. They almost look like barnacles, but that's just the bark. And I forget the name of it, I'll put it up, but it's really cool. Looks like a sapsucker, some sort of bird was drilling in here, trying to get that sap out. The bark, when you chew on it, it has this numbing agent, and you know, your whole mouth will just go numb. So that's what the Native Americans used to do when someone had a toothache. You know, just make your mouth go numb so you don't feel the pain. Pretty wild. So here's one of the ponds that we have out here on the island, and I saw another big old alligator. So it's making me, oh my gosh, there's a redfish right here, dude. Holy cow, nice red too. Did he bite it? I can't tell if he bit it. That is crazy. I was not expecting that. Like probably a 23 to 24 inch red right there, dude. Well, that makes me more excited. Put the bait right in front of him and dragged it across his face, but he did not care at all for it. Bro, why the hell? Well, I just saw a big alligator too, so. Okay, wow, that was insane. I was talking about big alligators and see a redfish a second later, I'm basically in the pond, you know? That's how it works. Truth is with these alligators, man, you don't gotta worry about them, but the only problem is they will come after your fish sometimes. If you're hooked up to a fish, they'll try to eat it. That's when things get a little weird, because you just don't want to associate people with food at all. That's when alligators become problems. When they're all wild and not interacting with people, totally fine, no issues. But when you start feeding them and they start getting that association, that's when they become more aggressive. It's not the alligator's fault either. It's always humans being humans. People suck. Put it right on his face though, and he just did not even try to look at it. This water's cold too, man. Shallow water, air temperature's barely gotten above 50 degrees the past week, so this is some cold water, very lethargic fish. Oh my god, he's right here, dude. He's so lethargic. Got him. Are you kidding me? I gotta watch out for these alligators now. What on earth, dude? That is crazy. Wow. That was sick. That's not a small fish by any means. What on earth? I think that was a different fish too than the one I saw before. Yeah, he's woken up now, I'd say. Dude, what on earth? That is wild. What a catch. What a hookup. I mean, that thing was so still, and put it right in front of him, and now he's awake. That's probably a 28-inch red. I mean, that's not a small fish. Dude, that is crazy. Hey, we're making something happen even without a camera. The old GoPro, that's all we need. Unfortunately, I have very light tackle for a fish this size. Dang, boy. Get up over here. Don't dive in that log. Ah, don't do it. Don't do it. That's a beauty, man. Turn you around, son. Gotta keep my eyes out for those alligators because they are in here and they are hungry. Oh my gosh, bro. What a fish, man. What a fish. Oh, he's barely, I mean, perfectly hooked too. Hooks out. I mean, probably not gonna get the best look at him, unfortunately. But hopefully you can see him in frame there. It's a tank, man. I'm gonna lift him up and down because I don't know if y'all can see him. What a red. Yeah, probably a 29, 30 incher. I don't know, he's a tank though. Send you back. Thank you so much, man. There he goes. Under the logs, yep, perfect. Wow, that was a different fish than the first one I saw, so there's a couple moving up in here. There's probably more to catch, that means. That is a freaking day maker right there. I don't need to catch anything else. I really don't need to see anything else. Oh man, that is so awesome. That's called being at the right place at the right time. It's also nice because back there, you know, I'm up on the dike, so you can look down and have a higher vantage point. You can see better in the water. Right now, I'm level with the water, can't see nearly as much, but figured I'd just take a little walk kind of around here, but we're gonna get back up on the main path and keep moving. So we're here on the main lake right now that's in the middle of this island, and the bird life is just beautiful, unmatched. We've got little blue herons and egrets and great blue herons. I mean, so many different species of birds, ducks, more ducks than you can imagine, and hopefully some fish too. I'm still upset that I don't have my camera because I could get some really awesome shots right now, but it's all right. I can't complain about that beast red we just got, so I'm just lucky to be here at this point. So this is one of the main pond connections. This is just a normal creek in the marsh, and there's a trunk right here where it connects. And I just feel like there could be some fish just chilling right here. Like, why wouldn't there be? There we go. Yes. Let's go. Little puppy drum. Small red. But man, that's cool. That's really cool. I mean, he's probably slot, honestly. Probably like 15, 16, but that's a puppy still. Yeah, so it makes sense why they're here. I mean, structure, deep hole in the winter. There's another one. I bet there's a lot of them in here. Probably a big school of them. That's awesome though. Gosh, man, it feels good to just catch some fish. I don't care how big they are. I love reds. They're the prettiest fish. Sorry, that was a little bit of a side flop, my guy. I mean, they're just right here though. You let that shrimp sink down all the way. Give it some good twitches. Look at that. 3 fish and 3 casts. No, he's shaking your head like a trout. This one thinks he's a trout. Let's see how many in a row we can get. Oh my gosh. Dude, there's a big school of fish out there. Hold up. I just saw like a... Like that looked like something serious. Is that mullet? That might have been a big school mullet. Weird current, swirly weird current. Kind of where it is. Maybe a little more to the right though. There we go. Got him. Another puppy. Yeah, there's a school of puppies out there. They moved from here over there. Might have to come back out here with the fly rod. There's a mullet. There you go. All right, they gone. Let's go try the access on the pond now and see if maybe there's another little school right there. We'll get down there a little bit and give it a shot. There's also some monster doormat flounder in here. That would be really cool to see, like a 20+ incher. When they get that big, they just look insane. Okay, moving on. Oh, that's so close. There's like a whole creek here now. This used to be like a teeny little stream. The water coming through here with the tide just cut right through this little stream and turned it into, now this is like a whole creek that's probably 2 or 3 feet deep in the middle. How cool would it be if some redfish got like trapped right up in here? Sight fish them in 5 inches of water. Wow, this is stunning. The ocean looks beautiful today. Coming up on the Boneyard Beach here. You can see that no longer in mud and dirt and clay, it's all sand. As we're transitioning out of the marsh environment into the beach environment. There's the maritime forest to the right and left of me. It's like a whole waterfall happening right here, man. Look at that. Gosh. So much for cinematic shots. Let's try to get across this and take a little walk up toward where there's more trees to see. Hopefully I don't top my extra tufts. I shouldn't. Yeah, we're chilling. Everyone typically wants to call these conchs, but that's actually not the case. These are whelks, W-H-E-L-K. And this one's a knobbed whelk because it's opening up on the right side, and it also has all the knobs on it. And these are carnivorous snails that will catch and eat food. So typically bivalves is what they're eating. So they eat a lot of clams and oysters and mussels, and they'll use, you know, this little muscular foot that you're seeing right there, along with the edge of their shell, and you know, that plate as well. That the plate they use to actually kind of shut up in their shell, but they can also use it as a prying tool to open up mussels and clams, which is so cool. The reason why we have all of these dead trees on the beach is due to climate change. So around 5,000 years ago was when we had our last glaciation. And what that has caused is the sea levels to rise as that ice has melted. And that leads to the ocean getting bigger, coming in and encroaching on these islands and killing these trees. You know, they were happily growing right where they are. They're not driftwood. Nothing brought them here. They started their life here and they ended their life here. But now they're on the beach because that sea level has risen, coming in, encroaching on the island, killing the trees with the salt because they need fresh water to survive. And when they die, the salt sort of preserves them and petrifies them, and the sun will bleach them out. So all of these beaches with these dead trees get the name the Boneyard Beach. And that's because they look like a big sea monster skeleton or dinosaur bones. And of course, within the past 100 years or so, we've seen an accelerated process with human interference with the greenhouse gases and everything like that. So it's crazy to see. You really just get a visual representation of it. All of these barrier islands on the East Coast have it, but the ones that are developed usually get destroyed to put up the big condos. Here's a look at one of the old root systems that's been here forever, petrified and preserved by the salt. Here's one of the most recent big oaks that got uprooted. This one's still very fresh. I've got the old double glasses happening again, but let me show you guys the perspective of how huge this is. These are the ones I'm familiar with. This is an art clam right here, and I know it's an art clam because I can see that straight edge on the back of it right there, near the hinge. Got a angel wing, broken up. Super cool. Remnants from all kinds of moon snails, oysters, and a bunch of stuff I don't know as well. Here's an old crab. Looks like maybe a baby stone crab, maybe a mud crab. I don't really know. These big guys are the cockle clams. You can see they're a little more round compared to the art clams, and they don't have that super straight edge on the hinge. It's more of a circle. They're cool though. That might be a little sea pansy, is what they're called. Some type of little invertebrate right there. Not sure what they're related to, whether they're a cnidarian or something else. Little horseshoe crab carapace right there. Normally you find the big ones, but this one's real teeny. It sure is beautiful out here, but I know it's in my best interest to start heading back because that tide is starting to drop and I'm going against it on the way back. I'll probably have around a 2-hour paddle back to the ramp, but that's okay. It's gonna be a good one. We'll enjoy it. That is gonna do it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I've got to absolutely book it back to the dock right now because it's a lot later than I thought. It's 4 o'clock right now and low tide's at around 6. So I'm gonna be cutting it very close, and also the sun's gonna be setting before we know it. So thank you as always, and stay hooked.